invite you just to take all the comfort of that spot where you are and let it just hold you in place during our practice. And as it does, just allow yourself to adjust as you need to adjust. Allow yourself to become still as you are ready. And then just really, again, let that spot just hold you in place. And let's take a few breaths together as we do that. So a slow, deep breath in. And a full, deep breath out. And a slow breath in. And a full breath out. And let's just pause here and notice. Notice the space where you are. Notice the air around you. Notice how you feel from just those first couple of breaths. Embrace all of it. This beautiful awareness of this practice asks us to do exactly that, to be aware, not to ignore things, not to close our mind off. Just take it all in, and as you take it in, find some stillness. Our practice today is inspired by Yoga Sutra, Chapter 3, number 41. And it's one more of these times of this ancient, wise teacher, Patanjali, giving us one more practice to try to achieve the things that we really want in our lives. And so what I'd encourage us to do as we enter into this time together is just think to yourself, what are the things that you hold on to that you would really like to be able to, almost in a natural kind of way, just let go of? What things do you hold on to that you wish that it could naturally happen, that you would just let them go? For some people, maybe that's criticisms of yourself. Others, maybe it's anger. Others, maybe it's a frustration that you have with someone and it just lingers and you hold on to it. Some, it's a memory that was sorrowful, that really made your heart hurt. But just think to yourself, what are the things that come into my life, come into my path, that I think my life would be a little simpler? Stillness would seem a little more attainable if I could just let that thing go. Not waiting until it comes to the point that it's this big weight within me, but just to naturally notice that it's here and then let it go. What is that for you? And where does that thing settle for you? Where do you feel it in your body? Do you feel it in your jaw, in your heart, in your shoulders, in your back, across your forehead, your temples? We all tend to hold things in different spaces within us. And then we go to yoga, or we go get a massage, or we do the things, and we work those places out until the next thing comes, and we hold that in as well. But again, what if we could get to the point in our lives that each thing would come in, we would notice it, and we would let it go? Almost resetting our default way of being, not holding on to the stress, not keeping the tension, not hanging on to the heartache or the anger, but just naturally letting it go. Well, what Patanjali tells us in this chapter 3, number 41 verse is, you have a tool to do that. You have this power center within you that if you will utilize it, you actually can train yourself to process things that need to be processed and let the things go that need to go. It's called the Samana Vayu. It's this power, digestive breath that we use to train our body to know how to hang on to the things that are nourishing for us and how to let all the rest just go. Think about it. Your body is so smart that if you eat something that's really good for you, it knows how to pull the vitamins and the nutrients out of that thing, whatever it was, send it to the parts of your body that need it, and then process the rest out. It also knows how to let you know when it's received something in that's not quite setting well, and it doesn't really know how to digest that thing very well. And so you learn that, and maybe you don't eat it next time. And so this digestive system, it's almost automatic. The body just knows how to pull out the things that nourish us and how to turn the rest loose. But what about the emotions? What about the thoughts? What about the sensory perceptions that we take in every day? Could we do the same as we do with food? Could we train our body to hang on to the things, pull the nourishment out that we need, and let the rest go? So that eventually it doesn't settle into our jaw. It doesn't tighten up across our shoulders. It doesn't create tension and pain in our forehead. Could we train the body to do that as well? And Patanjali, 2,500 years ago, would tell us most definitely. Samana Vayu. And so the way that this Samana Vayu, this breath of digestive fire works, is you breathe in and out at the level of your belly. I know that sometimes we take breath all the way up the spine, into the heart, across the chest and the ribs, but for this type of breath, we maintain the movement at the belly. And we try to stoke this gentle digestive fire. And we start to tell the body, as I breathe this way, I am giving you permission. Pull out the good stuff. As I take it in, pull out the good things and get rid of the rest. When I experience something, let me find the joy and the peace and the good things that nourish me, and let me turn loose of the things that do not. When I experience disappointment, let me feel it, let me experience it, and then allow me to let the residual effects of it go. When I experience anger, as we all do, let me feel it, but then let me release so that the anger does not sit in my tissues, in my bones, in my joints, and in my heart. He said 2,500 years ago, we can train ourselves to do that. And so before we breathe together in this way and we practice, I want us each to just sit and imagine that. Imagine if you could digest and process the emotions and the thoughts and all the sensory things that come in. If you could process and digest them in the same way that you digest food. Keep what is good and turn the rest loose. How much lighter would you walk through the world? How much more content would you be as you interact with people? How much more light would radiate from your face and from your spirit? Just imagine it, just see it. There's actually a translation of this particular Yoga Sutra that I love, and it says that when you practice Samana Vayu, when you breathe into this digestive fire, it says that as the yogi does it, his aura begins to glow like firelight. Just imagine that. As the yogi practices Samana Vayu, this digestive fire breath, his aura, people see in the sensations of who you are, starts to glow like firelight. Could you be that person in the world? Could I? Could we? Well, these teachings, the same teachings that tell us how to meditate, how to practice on the mat, how to do all the other parts, they also tell us that this works. If you want to learn to process the stuff as it comes into your life, you got to breathe with intention. And so we're going to practice that together. I asked us each to just imagine what are the things, or what is the thing that you really wish you could just let go. You really wish you could just let it go. And you can imagine your life without that thing sitting in your tissues, in your heart, in your jaw, in your stomach, in your back. You can imagine what life could be like. So now let's do something to actually manifest it. And so in just a moment, we're going to breathe from the belly, and I encourage you to really just keep the breath there as much as you can, where you're going to expand that belly like a balloon as much as you can expand it, and when you exhale, you'll let it just deflate. And we're going to try to move the breath, not quickly, but with intention. And while we're doing that, we'll use the Samana Vayu mudra. So if it feels like it's available, just turn your palms up and let all 4 of your fingers touch your thumb tip. So that basically means that all fingertips and thumb tips are gathered together on each hand. Each finger, each thumb represents a different element, from fire to air to earth to water to space. And when you bring them together like this, what you're saying is, I want balance. I want all the parts of me working together for health, for wellness, for peace, for calm. And so if it feels comfortable, just leave your hands like this as we breathe. 4 fingertips touching the thumb, not too tight, just gently resting there. And take a couple practice breaths on your own, just expanding your belly and letting it go. And expanding the belly and letting it go. And let's try to do this in and out through our nose and really control the breath at the belly level. And now let's breathe in, expand the belly. Breathe out, release. Breathe in, expand the belly. Breathe out, release. Breathe in, expand your belly. Breathe out, release. Breathe in, expand your belly. Breathe out, release. Breathe in and expand. Breathe out, release. Breathe in. Breathe out. And in and out. A few more rounds. In. Release. Expand the belly. Relax. One more. Expand. Release. And if you can keep your hands in that mudra, just let your breath return to normal. Just see what you notice. You see, this type of breath almost makes it impossible for us to hold on to stuff that doesn't belong there. It's difficult to expand and release and to move the belly in that way if it's holding on to tension, if it's holding on to anger, if it's holding on to heartbreak. And so just think to yourself again, what's getting in the way of me radiating out in my aura the brightness of firelight? Does the world see the lightness of my spirit, or do they see the frustration of my heart? Does the world see the light that this practice offers me, or do they see the anger that I haven't been able to release yet? And then maybe even more importantly, when I look in the mirror, do I see peace and gentleness on my countenance, on my face? Or do I see all the emotions that I've experienced today? So just notice, not to criticize yourself, but just to be aware. invite you, because we're going to do a few more rounds, I would invite you just to see what it could look like if you really could make this the way that you live, your default way. A situation happens. I feel a certain way. I recognize that I feel that way, and then I let it go. Someone frustrates me, or disappoints me, or angers me. I notice it, I feel it in that moment, and then I let it go. I think negative thoughts about myself. I'm critical of myself, and I recognize that I'm doing it. And the moment I recognize it, I let it go. What could your life be like if you could live from that way of being? And so if your hands are still in that mudra, just leave them there. If they're not, see if you're willing to bring the fingers back to the thumb, each hand. Seal the lips. And let's practice just a bit more as we see what it could look like. See it in your mind's eye, this peaceful countenance on your face, this gentleness in your spirit, this glowing firelight from the essence of your being. Let's take a breath in, expand the belly. Exhale, release. Expand the belly. Release. Expand. Release. Expand. Release. Expand. Release. A couple more. Expand. Release. One more in. One more out. Release your fingers. And you can let them just rest where they are. Feel the sensations as you wiggle them. If it feels right, you could also bring them to your belly. But just find a position that feels good for you. And just think about it. When you've eaten something that just does not sit right, you almost pray that your body will release it as soon as possible. You feel physical pain and discomfort, and you just want it to go. And then all of a sudden, over time, the body finds a way, and the discomfort goes. And you learn something about yourself. You don't eat that thing again because you don't want to suffer. You don't want to cause suffering for yourself. The same thing happens with all of the other things we bring into our lives. How we respond to people's actions, how we respond to what's happening in the world, how we talk to ourselves, how we hold on to anger and resentment and deep hurts. It's just like we've eaten something and it just can't quite settle because it doesn't belong there. But we have a tool to let it go. We just have to be willing to use it. And so let's just pause for just the next moment of quiet and just see, are you ready to let that thing go? Are you ready to shine and glow with the light of your spirit? Are you ready? And as you bring your awareness back to this moment, back to your breath, realize that this moment is the new one. What's already past is past. And we start fresh here. Whatever that thing was that you've pictured, that you've imagined, you've seen yourself letting it go. Don't worry about how you've been before. You now have new understanding, new wisdom. And now it's up to you to use it. Do things in your life that help your spirit glow. Help the world see peace when they look at your face. Help them see light as you walk into the room. Engage in practices that allow you to walk lightly through all the parts of your life. Namaste.